Grab your map and compass, Wargamers, because it's time for episode 3 of the Adventures of the Blackraven. In our last episode, they liberated a missionary, one Elron Dullard, a priest of the Discordian Church, sometimes known as Buddha Slug, and he told them, after a little bit of strong-arming, that they should seek out a mystic shrine on a planet of the Yell Lizards. They have narrowed down the location of the shrine to this region right here. In point of fact, it's in one of these 3 sets of woods. So they're going to waltz on in and commune with the nature spirits, commune with the shrine, and find their next clue to the location of the magic space baby that everybody has been hunting for. Unfortunately, the natives are a little bit restless. These are the lizards, and I have built 6 of them along identical lines. They are shooters possessing nothing but 1 melee. So, those of you that have been following along, they are shooters. They are amphibious, which means they have 4 vitality, compared to 3 for most of the crew of the Blackraven. I will be using casualty dice to keep track of that. I don't like doing that. Normally, this detracts from the visual appeal of the wonderful terrain. However, the random tables that we used to generate this terrain gave us some fairly flat table. I gotta tell you, I cut my teeth on Necromunda, the original Necromunda, which begs for as much terrain clutter as possible. As a result, as a wargamer, I always want to load up the table with as much stuff as possible. The random generation of this campaign has led us to this wide open field with just a few terrain features. Very unusual for a guy like me. A couple of other features we should talk about are the swamps. That's these 2 round things. You can cross them. They don't block line of sight, but if you move through them, your movement is reduced by 3, and if you fight in them, your opponent gets a bonus of 2 defensive dice. That's not true for the lizards. They are amphibious, as I mentioned before. When it comes to the forests, you can only shoot in or out 1 base width. You can shoot within it as much as you want, but you can't shoot out of it. You can shoot at the woods, but only so far as to hit someone who is standing right on the edge. When you shoot at someone in the woods, regardless of where you're standing, that person, that figure, gets 2 extra defensive dice. Bear that in mind. With all of those preliminaries out of the way, it's time to roll for initiative. And this initiative is to determine who comes on which side of the terrain. As usual, the white dice will be for the Blackraven, and the yellow dice will be for the natives. As you can see, we've got 4 successes to 2 successes, meaning the Blackraven gets to choose which side they're coming on first. And they're going to choose that far side. When they search the first forest, they're going to make a chance roll, and on 2 successes, that's the one. On the second forest, they only need 1 success, and that's the one. The third forest, if the other 2 haven't been found, obviously is the location of the shrine. It takes a full turn to search, and a full turn to commune. Bear that in mind. I've flipped the camera around from the other side so we can watch this play out from the perspective of old Cobalt 15 and his plucky crew members. As you can see, Lieutenant Dane and Cobalt 15, he is our shooter, have opted to punch to the right, and over to the left we've got our scrappy thug and our technician on the left. Did I say those guys are shooters? I meant they are thugs. That means that they have 1 weapon, they're rolling 6 dice, and they get 1 reroll on the attack. But for now, that doesn't really matter because these guys get to go first. And we alternate movement. He's going to head up at a bit of an angle to here, running 10 centimeters. Likewise with these guys, 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. Trying to stay in cover as best as possible, and they're going to make a beeline. Now the reason he selected this side is because he's got 2 chances, and then these guys are all just going to move up there. They're full 10. Classy joint we're running here, eh? Okay, that's it for turn 1. Moving on to turn 2. This calls for an initiative check. We get 2, 4. 4 successes here, 3 successes here. Wouldn't you know it, they get to go first for once. And they're going to streak. You know, they're actually going to cut over this way. And we'll move these guys 10 centimeters up, which is just shy of where they want to be. Everybody is generally trying to stay behind cover at this point. There you go. Now it's time for things to slow down just a little bit more. 3 successes for the lizards, 2, 4, 5 successes for Cobalt, and that means Rusty is going to run headlong into this wood. She's going to move just 3 centimeters, and being 7 centimeters away means the remainder of he's going to just make it inside, and I guess I should move these 3 guys too, huh? One. 2, sorry, Mr. Tree. Timber. He is 4 centimeters away. I guess the better way to explain this is that it cuts movement rates in half. The trees are not in permanent locations. That cost him 3, and he's going to go take up position right there. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, seeing what we have going on here, Lieutenant Dane is actually going to avoid the woods. He doesn't have line of sight, but there's nothing he can do about that for now. We're gonna run these 3 gents straight up this way, because those 2 turns are going to prove to be killer here in just a minute. Rolling for initiative. We've got 3 for the Blackraven crew and just 2 for the lizards. So the Blackraven, the first thing they'll do is try to find the shrine in these woods. Once they commune with the shrine, they still have to escape, remember. So she is going to roll, good old Marion, our technician. Now she does have, let's take a look at her character sheet here real quick. She does have a scanner. I don't know, 6D spot check. Yep, we're going to give her the extra bonus dice. So 6 dice against a toughness number of, what did we say? It was a, oh, we said a chance roll of 2, didn't we? Let's make it a toughness number of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, but you know what? It doesn't matter if it's not there. So it is just a chance roll. 2 successes. Hey, she found it. So this is the place. On the next turn, she can commune. In the meantime, if he runs, he'll be able to make it just over to there. And wait. He's going to spend 3 centimeters to come out, and then he's going to have to spend 7. That finishes him off with his 10. No, I'm doing this wrong. He hasn't moved yet. He hasn't moved yet either. Shrine located. Ten centimeters. Then he moves. Then he follows. Now he can move up to, that's going to cost him 4 to get out. And then he can move an additional 6 to here. But does he really want to do that? I don't think he does. That costs him 4 to get out. He can move 2 to there, and then he can open fire. That's exactly what he's going to do. He shoots with 4, and because he's got pistols, he's got 2 rerolls. And it's going to be a 4-on-4 against this nearest lizard man, who himself defends with 4. So 4-on-4 with a pair of rerolls. 1, 2 successes, 1 success, pair of rerolls. 2, 4 successes, 1, 2 successes. That means he does 2 points of damage to him, and that's where these ugly little dice come into play. So he's got 2 wounds. Centimeters. He's going to pop out and drift back to here. That's 6 centimeters, so that he's got a line of sight on this lizard. And now he's going to roll, because Lieutenant Dane has a rifle. He's got 3. We can check the range, but it doesn't matter because he's a shooter. That rifle negates everything. So there's our rolls. Lieutenant Dane scores a total of 3 hits to 4 defenses, but he still has 3 rerolls. So he winds up with 4 versus 4, and that shot does no good. That lizard closes in, and this lizard closes into there, and that will close out that turn. Bringing it in for the next turn. Here's our initiative roll. 2 successes versus 3 successes. The lizards get to go first. What an interesting development. They are going to charge. We have enough for some hand-to-hand combat. This lizard is going to be rolling a total of 7 dice. With the charge, that's going to be a total of 7 dice with 1 reroll. His defense is going to allow him 4 dice with 3 rerolls. He has heavy armor. No surprise for a robot like that. So we get 1, 2, 3 plus the reroll for a total of 5 hits. Cobalt has a total of, that's 2, 4, 6, 7 hits. Cobalt scores 7 defenses. What a fantastic roll. And he comes off okay. I want to check one other thing. He gets, that's melee defense. He does get 2 rerolls. And that'll do it for that guy. In fact, we're going to go ahead and follow up. He's going to counterpunch, and it's going to be a 4-on-6 with 2 rerolls for Cobalt and none for the Lizard. So that's 4 defenses, 2, 3, 4 hits, and here is our 2 rerolls. So nothing. So once again, we have a wash. And now it is the Lizard's turn. We're gonna run headlong into here. 1 and 2. Well, just the 1 to start off with. And now she's going to commune, which is an automatic thing. And now he can move up. So, victory point has largely been met. He's going to drift back 6 and take a shot. He's going to be able to roll 6 dice with his usual 3 rerolls versus 4 dice with no rerolls. 4 successes on that side, only 1 so far. We're going to reroll 3 of these. That was a 4. That was a 4. And we're going to get 4 successes versus 4 defenses. And that's a big pile of nothing. And now things get interesting for him. So there's 10. And there's 10. He doesn't quite have enough movement to get up in his grill. End of the turn. For our next turn, let me go ahead and move these a little bit so you can see what's going on. Oh, Rusty is in there. And we got to make our initiative roll. The Lizards get 1, 2, 3 successes, and the crew gets 3 successes. Initiative goes to the crew because they've got the big dang hero on their side. Hero's in trouble. He's fighting 2-on-1 odds. When he charges in, he's going to get 2. He's going to get 2 attacks. Okay, well, let's start things off by pulling Rusty back 5 centimeters to there. And then, sure enough, he's going to charge in, and that's going to mean he gets a total of 8 dice to Cobalt 15's 4. At least Cobalt has his heavy armor and gets 3 rerolls. Now, that's only 6 dice, so we're going to roll 2 more, and that's the initial, and then we get 1 reroll. So the Lizard scores a total of 9 hits versus 1, 2, 3. Those 6 hits KO Cobalt. She's going to drift back. That costs 4 to get to there, leaving her with 6 left, so she hightails it back this way. Good job, Marion. Good job. And then these guys are 5 centimeters away, so they'll close to within 5. You know what? They're going to try and go around. I'm going to see if they can catch up to her by taking the long way. I better be careful here. He fades back. Now, you know what? She's not going to move yet. He's going to fade back 6. That's got to be the next one that we do. I declared it. She drifted back. The problem here is that he is within striking distance, so that's going to be a tough hand-to-hand combat. Lieutenant Dane got a little too cocky. I wasn't thinking, and we are in trouble because that's going to be... Lieutenant Dane is going to need to roll a big defense on this one. Now, on a melee defense, he does get 1 reroll. So that might just do it with 5 versus 2. Good job, Lieutenant Dane. Now we can kick things back over here. Good luck, Lieutenant Dane. You are in trouble. And I think that's... Okay, coup de grace. So by expending his action, he is going to just completely put him out of the fight. Cobalt is now going to face a -2 on his death check. When we roll for our injury check in the post-battle sequence. He attacked, he moved. And then the last guy we got to move is, like I said, he's going to remove 5, and he's going to move another 5. And it's not going great. I'm not going to lie to you. With Cobalt out of the action, our initiative check now becomes an even 4 dice per side. And the result is a tie. Equal number of 6s, we're going to reroll. The crew gets 2 successes. 2 successes, they both have 5s, so we're going to try this again. 1 success for each, but the 5 is higher, so the crew gets their initiative. And to start things off, we're going to pull... He can only move 5 to there. He's going to charge 10 to there. He's going to get to roll 8 dice. So let's go ahead and roll him first. He's got 8 dice plus a reroll. This is only 7 dice. There's die number 8 for a grand total of, and we get our reroll. So there is our 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. Dane gets 3, and with a reroll, he gets KO'd. And then it's her turn to leg it to there, and the next guy is going to coup de grace him. So that's 2 guys. This one is not going well, is it? Probably should have just made an offering or something before doing this. Let's check initiative. And initiative's going to go 2 successes for both sides, but the 5s are higher, so we're going to give it to the crew of the good ship Blackraven. Let me reset this camera. Now I can show you the race as it happens. The crew gets to go, and so it costs him 4 to get to the edge, and then another 6 to leg it to there. Then the lizards are going to go, and they're just not going to have enough. Call that 6 and 4. It's a straight up foot race, 4 versus 4. They're not going to be able to catch him. She gets off, and I guess, you know, the only other thing we could do here is we'll go ahead and amphibious. We'll go ahead and move them all up where they need to be. There is a chance that Rusty gets captured on this next turn. We'll do our standard 4 versus 4 for initiative. And if Rusty loses, which he does, he is in trouble. Because he is only 10 centimeters away from this guy. He is going to be rolling 6. It's going to be 6 on 6, but he gets an extra die for the charge to start off. And at least Rusty is also a thug. So those negate, and we're left with 3 hits versus no hits. But Rusty has 2 rerolls in which he gets no hits. And this guy gets a reroll, so he hits 4 times, knocking him out. which is very unfortunate because he's close enough to deliver another coup de grace. So 3 out of the 4 crew members just took it on the chin and were completely unable to do any damage back to the lizard men. On the other hand, the Blackraven crew did manage to commune with the nature spirits. Oh, I even forgot about that guy. There's one more way over here who said, yeah, you guys are doing fine. You don't even need my help. Go get them. So what have we learned? Well, 6 thugs is pretty rough, even if you don't have a whole lot of terrain in hand. What should we have done different? Our shooter should have just kicked off to the side and just started shooting as soon as possible. He might have been able to get a good 4 or 5 shots off if we'd started off in the corner and planned our line of sight better. Although if he'd started off in the corner, then the lizards would have just cheated over and forced him to drift off to the side anyway. I think succeeding on that first chance roll is the only difference between getting that piece of information and not. So it's going to be a rough day on those death checks. The good news is our boys are pretty rough. They're pretty rugged. They've got the skill set. They may be able to handle it. But when they make their injury check, they're going to subtract 2 from a D6, which is a literal killer. But we'll have to find out about that in the next episode when we do our 3rd interlude to find out if the shrine was a hoax or legit after all. Until then, God bless you. Thanks for watching.